Hello traders, and welcome to a new video on looking at what the largest whales in Bitcoin are doing across all exchanges and across all wallets. So I am super excited to be showing you guys this information. You can just see where they were decreasing their positions right before a price dump, where they were increasing their positions right before a price rise, and so on. Now, before we get into the fun of tracking whale activity, I have recently released my guide to order flow, and I've also released ebooks on price action and volume, trading Fibonacci's, and also trading the order book and order depth. If you're interested in any of that, you can click the link in the description below to go check more of that out. All right. What you were looking at here, all addresses with more than 100 Bitcoin in their wallet. Okay? What were they doing on the run-up? Well, you can see on the 2017 run-up where we get to $20,000 worth one Bitcoin. They were increasing, around here. Then just as price was increasing parabolically, they were decreasing their positions. The reason I say that is the number of addresses with more than 100 Bitcoin was falling. That means that these traders are either selling their Bitcoin to other cryptocurrencies, selling their Bitcoin to Tether or to USD, or getting liquidated. But more likely, I would say selling to USD would probably be more likely. You can see they were just decreasing their positions just as price had made a top. Then the craziest thing is we get this consolidation here and we're all thinking, hey, is price going to rise or fall? Look at this. We go from 17,300, around 17.4K addresses with more than 100 Bitcoin, which is at this price would have been worth around $600,000 at a minimum. So anyone who has at least around $600,000 to $700,000 worth of Bitcoin, or in the millions or in the hundreds of millions, is included in here. And they just decrease their positions. We go from 17.4 down to 16.4. So a lot of traders are just getting out, and then price falls. Hey, what were most traders doing? Let's look at the traders with a non-zero balance. So this is any trader holding Bitcoin. What were they doing? Well, they were increasing greed. We can see here. They continued to increase even as price was falling. Everyone thought that Bitcoin was just going to go to higher highs, and you can see that we have 28 million Bitcoin addresses with at least 0.00001 Bitcoin. And then the panic, the panic hits here, and we go from 28 million down to 21 million. Just insane panic. And then we get some stabilization, as you can see here, and then we just fall. But you can just see a complete difference in what even traders with more than 1,000 Bitcoin are doing. What are traders with more than 1,000 Bitcoin doing? Yeah, they were just decreasing their positions, or the number of people with more than 1,000 Bitcoin was decreasing as price was making its parabolic top. But those smaller traders, they were increasing, as you can see. Now, we can even look at this in a more short-term perspective, and we can even pump up the numbers to 10,000. Guys, this is looking at traders, holders, and investors with more than 10,000 Bitcoin in their wallet or exchange. That is worth currently around, by my math, $73 million. 10,000 times 7,300, to my math, is $73 million. Up here would have been worth around $120 million. That's a minimum. So if you have at least $73 million worth of Bitcoin, that's what they're doing here. What were they doing in the 3,000s? Look at this. As price had made its bottom around the 3 to 4K range, they were just increasing. The number of people with more than 10,000 Bitcoin, we went up from 97 of them up to 107. An 11-12% increase in these top guys, and they just continue to increase. Look at this. Right before price rose, price is in gray, right before price rose, we go from 103 people to 108. And then price rises. Right when we get 108 addresses with that many, just a lot of people, a lot of very, very, very rich people are accumulating Bitcoin, and then they potentially get price to go higher. I'm not going to say pressure price to go higher. Then a great signal here, price fell, but this continued to increase. And yeah, price increased too. And then what we see is price was consolidating. It wasn't really doing much. But what were these traders doing? They sold off their Bitcoin. We go from 120 people with more than 10,000 Bitcoin down to 105 and down to 106 right before the price drop. So they all sold off. As you can see here, we get a massive, massive decrease of around 13%, 120 to 106. I think is that 12%. So I think around 12% of these large traders had just exited their positions and then price dumps. This is just giving you great insight into what the largest traders are doing and also what the herd is doing by looking at non-zeros. Not non-zero, just they're all just, mostly accumulating. Or even like what are traders with more than 100 Bitcoin doing? As you can see here. Well, the traders with more than 100 Bitcoin were decreasing at the market top. They also decreased here, but then they increased. Here they just decreased, increased, and then decreased, as you can see here. So this is super interesting to look at what these really top traders are doing. Another thing, if you thought that was all, you're going to be in for a shock because there's another indicator that shows us every single Bitcoin held, whether it's being held at a loss or a profit. Look at this. All right, we're going to go back 3 years, another blast from the past, and you can see if more traders are profitable or if more traders are unprofitable. This became blue because when price made its top, just about everyone was profitable. Then look here. When price made its bottom in the $3,000 to $4,000 range, you can see that most people were unprofitable. And it's color-coded to actually show us how many people are profitable versus unprofitable. Now, if we want to get more specific, what we can see is unrealized loss. So how many Bitcoin are being held in unrealized loss? Guys, when price went to 20K, almost no one. 0.00001941. I think that number even decreased too. But then as price fell, we go to 27% of all Bitcoin held is being held at a loss. Now you may say, wait a second. Why did that number only go down to 27%, only go up to 27%? Wouldn't we expect a lot more traders to be unprofitable with a drop of that magnitude from 20K to 7K? Well, here's the thing. Most of the Bitcoin held is going to be held by early adopters and by very rich investors. So really a jump from 0% essentially to 27% is a large proportion of the retail trading crowd. Okay? And that number gets even higher. We get to a point when price had dropped to 3 to 4K where even the early adopters in Bitcoin and potentially the very rich investors were unprofitable. 76% of every Bitcoin held is now unprofitable at 3.2K. Okay? This would have been just a beautiful time to have accumulated into a bot. Why? Well, we want to buy on max pain, and this is just the absolute max pain right here, especially, we have a lot of pain here, then we have a little bit of a relief, and then just more pain. That more pain here would have just been a great time to have bought. Where do we want to sell? Well, we typically are going to want to sell when this is almost no one is holding Bitcoin at a loss. Because when every single Bitcoin is being held at a profit, that's very scary. That's horrifying because the sell-off with that, is of this magnitude. And you can see that happen here. Look at this. We go up to 12K and then everyone's profitable. Only 1.49% of traders are unprofitable. Yeah. And Bitcoin can't sustain that. It just can't. And Bitcoin falls. And now we currently know that only at this current time, December 23rd, but I can actually even go more recent to see. It's 1 month. Currently, this current time, December 29th, 1 day ago, we know that around 13% of every Bitcoin held is profitable. That's it. Okay? 13% are profitable right now. So 13% of my viewers who are holding Bitcoin, congratulations. You're profitable. Now, let's look at unrealized profit. It's just going to be the opposite of unrealized loss, of course, but it is still interesting to look at the patterns. Now, what we can see with unrealized profit is, just about everyone was profitable at 20K, not surprising. And then just about, not many people were still profitable when price had gone down to here. As you can see, most people were unprofitable. And then we can actually, let's just zoom in more. Let's go to unrealized profit to 1 year. We can even see profit spikes. When profit spikes like crazy, that is not a good sign. Typically, when profit really spikes, such as something from 47% when price was at 8K, we go up to 12.6K, and we get 61.8% of traders are profitable. If you know I'm pausing at the number of 61.8, I think that I don't think it's a coincidence. It has to be a coincidence, guys, that it's 61.8 at the very top. Don't read too much into that. But if you're curious about why 61.8 is so important, go look up 61.8, and your mind will be blown. I think that's just a coincidence, though. Let's call it 61.7. I'm just going to say it's a Fibonacci. I can actually say a Fibonacci number of people were profitable at 12.682, and then price fell. Okay, cool. Fibonacci's rule the world. Illuminati confirmed. Okay, hopefully that doesn't get my channel demonetized or get any strikes because I mentioned the word Illuminati. Okay, moving on from Illuminati and 61.8%. Let's go back to net unrealized profit and loss. And it scales, so you can see the color actually does scale depending on your time frame. So you can see here. And if we go back to, I like that 1 year. That 1 year was pretty. Right when it become green would have been a beautiful time to have sold. Just a beauty of a time. This is when the majority, this is really important because we actually do the crossover up to where majority of traders are profitable. And when the majority of traders are profitable in their longs, that's not a good sign. That's a horrible sign. And yeah, price couldn't go any higher. Because if the majority of the crowd is right, then the majority of the crowd is soon to be wrong. So that's going to do it for this video. If you're curious about anything else on this, you can go to glassnode.com. I'm going to attach the link in the description below. Just to recap what we covered, we looked at what are Bitcoin addresses with more than 10K, more than 1K, more than 100 Bitcoin. What are they doing? We also looked at what the overall herd is doing with the non-zero Bitcoin addresses. We also looked at with every single Bitcoin in existence is being held at a profit or is it being held at a loss? And really when a lot of them are profitable, good time to sell. When almost, everyone is unprofitable, pretty good time to buy. With that, go do your own research, go check this out, and happy trading.